638, Todd Jeffries and Don Pryor. Ladies and gentlemen, you have discovered the Todd and Don Show. 512-836-0590. Toll free 877-590-5525.
What are people talking about on social media?
Have you seen it?
At Todd Jeffries ATX and at Don Pryor.
Yeah.
We're getting viral with Todd and Don.
Yeah, okay. So she gets pulled over for drunk driving. She's 27 years old and screaming some obscenities on the, at the police officer and doing the field sobriety test. This is in Albuquerque. Lily Romero, 27 years old, gets a DWI on May 29th. She was riding an electric scooter the wrong way, exceeding the 15-mile-an-hour speed limit and twice the legal limit. And here she is. She's just totally confused that this is happening in the first place.
So if I fail this, I'm going to get a DWI? Is that what you're saying?
Well, we're going to investigate and see how you do, and then we're going to go from there. That is a possibility, though. Yes.
Are you joking me?
No,
Look at me in the
I'm not.
eyes and tell me.
Do you think I would have stopped you and done all this if I was joking? This is real
Because
right
I was
now.
on a scooter and I went the wrong way.
Yeah, you were on a vehicle under state statute going the wrong direction on a one-way. So
what he's
yes,
saying.
I'm stopping you for that reason. I smell alcohol. We're going to do some field sobriety tests. So
Okay.
put your arms aside like this. I'm going to show you a light.
I cannot fathom this. I'm riding a scooter
cannot fathom
because I don't want to drive drunk.
I
and you're going
cannot-
to give me a sobriety test?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I
Here
cannot
I go.
believe it.
Okay, follow this light right here with your eyes only. Don't move your head, okay? Just use your eyes. Do you understand? Okay.
I just find you so ridiculous right now. Like, why are you doing this to me?
Because I already told you, Lily, you're driving a vehicle under state statute that's considered a motor vehicle because it's propelled by gas or electric.
And you're
That's
not
right.
used to this. You don't live in a big city. We're from Albuquerque.
It doesn't matter what city I live in.
Dude, I had
I'm
2
applying
beers.
the Mexico
I
State
had 2
law.
beers.
No, you said
And you're gonna tell
So
me
do you
that I
want
have
to do
to
these
take-
tests or not?
Should have
Up to
said
you. I'm
one.
not going to force you to, and I'm
So
not going
what's
to
the other
argue
option?
with you.
Go to
I'm
jail?
gonna argue.
Well, if you don't want to do them, then I'm being forced to place you under arrest. Absolutely,
Taking it,
yes.
yeah.
So it's up to you whether you want to do these tests or not.
I just
These
find
tests are to show impairment, and I can't establish
I
that
just
if you
find
don't want to do the
this so
tests.
ridiculous, dude.
Well,
Dude.
this is real.
How rude,
You're on a,
Okay, so then let's go back to the eye test.
How I find you ridiculous, dude.
Are you being serious right now?
Oh my God! Don't you know me? Come on! I'm just on the scooter.
This is so. I cannot believable.
I cannot fathom that. At one point, she calls him an effing idiot. She
She's
she
classic.
She was going the wrong way in the street,
Yeah.
exceeding the 15-mile-an-hour scooter
Right,
speed limit
right.
and twice the legal limit intoxicated.
On a motorized vehicle.
At the very least, she could have hurt herself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Crash and
This
hit her
is-
head and kill herself. Or she was going the wrong direction as well. She could have had a head-on collision with a car, maybe caused a car to be involved in a crash.
And you cannot tell me that we don't have 100 of these scooters going around at 2 o'clock in the morning where you don't have a bunch of drunk people on them. Come on.
I bet if you pulled over 10
Yeah.
at 2 a.m.,
Yeah.
I bet at least half of them would be intoxicated. Maybe the other half could be on their way home from work or whatever, trying to get to their car, whatever.
You being serious right now?
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe you're doing this.
Oh, you sound.
I only had 2.
Should have said 1. 2 is that's when they don't believe you.
You're going to jail if you say 2.
2 is when you've had 7.
That's
When you
2.
say 2, that means 7.
What does 1 mean?
1 generally means I hear it. 1 means that you probably just had 1.
Okay.
And that was the case with me when I got pulled over for not signaling out in Sunset Valley.
You keep bringing up your criminal history. I don't know
there-
why. It's not your best advantage
It's
here.
my only brush with police I've ever had.
That's the only time you've
well,
been...
other than traffic ticket, but it's the only time that it went beyond that.
Oh, gosh.
It's when I had,
You're a lightweight, man.
Yeah, no, it's
You-
when I had to do a field sobriety test
You hold
because
my
I was honest.
You hold my record up against yours? Oh, my goodness.
Oh no. We're two completely different
Yeah.
categories there altogether.
No, I've
You've
never-
got stories.
I've never gotten a DWI. Ever. Never gotten a...
Nor have I.
Never have.
Nor have I.
Never even been questioned or taken that field sobriety, but I've gotten a lot of speeding tickets in my day.
I know that.
Between that window about 16 and 22,
Yeah.
oh, good night, man.
No, you're talking like 40 or something.
I
right?
mean, well, let me just give you some parenting advice. Don't do what my dad did. Do not give your son a race car at the age of 16.
Probably not.
Not a good idea.
And why did he do that?
I don't know. He thought it was cool, I guess. I
Yeah.
guess thought it was cool. He was big into racing cars. And so
Yeah.
my first car was the SS Supernova.
Mm-hmm.
Had a 4-barrel Quadrajet carburetor on it.
Sweet.
It's a 350 board and probably pushing about 700 horse.
I don't know what any
Big
of this is.
racing
but
tires on the back, air
sounds sweet.
shocks.
Yeah.
home stereo speakers laying in the back seat.
Right.
I was the reason police were created to pull people over.
Were those Jensens?
Probably were Jensen's.
Yeah.
Probably were.
Jensen Triax was the big deal.
Maybe some. I think I also had a Sherwin Vega 18-inch woofer.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sherwin Vega. Uh-huh. Massive.
Just the trunk would just rattle.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sound like kids wrestling in the back seat. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
6:44 here on the Todd and Don Show. I want to bring your attention to a story out of Killeen.
Would you?
And no, it typically doesn't. We don't cover that, stuff up that far up, city stories up that high in Killeen. But community activists have now a march planned in Killeen this Sunday, bringing attention to that city's homeless problem. Lack of funds has forced the city's lone such shelter to shut down just last month because, well, they ran out of money. And so the director of that center, his name is William Hall. Here he is.
Our board decided that when we shut the doors, that we would aggressively do fundraising, and if we reached $180,000, we would reopen the shelter.
Now, so far they've raised $70,000.
That's a start, but that only gets me enough money to run for a couple months, and our intent is not to reopen and then have to shut the doors again.
They say many of those former residents are now camping out around the shelter. They have no running water. And Hall says there are a couple of GoFundMe fundraisers and donation sites where people can donate money. Now, bring it up because if Killeen has trouble keeping a homeless shelter open and they shut it down, those people are going to come here.
Of course.
It's the next big closest city that's going to help them.
Yes.
So this should be kind of a red flag for us.
They ain't going to go to Dallas.
When Bastrop has trouble with their homeless shelter, if they even have one, I don't even know if they have one. When New Braunfels, San Marcos, Killeen, Temple, Taylor, whenever they have problems with dealing with the homeless and shut down a shelter, they come here.
Of course they do.
Right here to Austin.
They're not going to go to Georgetown, that's for sure.
No. It is 6:45. Stay with us. We're going to tell you the story. Well, the APD is responding to a story that's been circulating in social media. A police officer had to shoot a dog the other day. We'll tell you about it straight ahead in just 1 minute. It is 6:45 right now, and a check on traffic. Here's Don.
Just a few wrecks clearing up right now. That early one, FM 973 at Decker. Another one, Parker Lane as you approach Woodward. And usual delays at the usual spots right on schedule around town. You know what they are. I don't have to tell you. Don Pryor with Austin's On-Time Traffic.
This segment brought to you by Crestview RV.
Don't miss the sizzling summer deals at Crestview RV. New 26-foot travel trailers, $13,995 or $128 a month. See dealer for details. Crestview RV in Buda, Georgetown, and Waco. For the location nearest you, visit CrestviewRV.com. CrestviewRV.com.
Today will be breezy, hot, and humid with intervals of clouds and sunshine. We'll have a high of 97, but it's going to feel like it's close to 105. Remaining very warm and humid tonight. Patchy clouds with a low of 81. From the Weather Center, I'm Heather Zayer.
This segment brought to you by Natural BioHealth.
Looking for natural ways to optimize your health and performance? Achieve your goals with Natural BioHealth wellness programs. Now through June, KLBJ listeners will receive 20% off the hormone optimization or weight loss programs. Let them know you heard it on KLBJ to get 20% off by going to naturalbiohealth.com.
6:47, Todd Jeffries and Don Pryor.
Yeah, hi.
We're going to go under the covers here in a couple of minutes. Don Pryor and his hard-to-reach exclusive interviews. You do not want to miss this one. Who do you got coming up?
AOC.
You low-life son of a...
AOC.
All right.
Sat down with her.
Really?
Yeah, I asked her about this whole concentration camp thing, what she's talking about.
Right.
She crazy.
Oh, there's no doubt.
She crazy.
Oh, you got a confirmation of her cray-cray.
Oh, did I ever.
Really?
Yes, certifiable.
Looney?
She signed it. She signed a piece of paper. I mean, it's right there. It's all confirmed.
All right, well, that's
crazy.
That's coming up in a few minutes here on the Todd and Don Show. Have you heard the story about the Austin Police Department? Well, they've now issued a statement on Facebook about an officer-involved dog shooting story. It's been circulating in social media. Now, according to police, officers were dispatched to the 4800 block of East Riverside Drive around 6 p.m. this past Friday. June 14th, after receiving calls about a large dog that was running around the neighborhood, a couple of dogs actually, preventing residents from actually going out of their house or getting into their condos. 2 police officers responded. They got several calls.
Yeah.
2 police officers responded to the scene. The first officer went to grab a dog leash from the back of his patrol car. The second officer made contact with the initial complainant, the person that called 911. And now while police were talking to that resident, The dog got up and ran aggressively towards the police officer in a very menacing kind of tone, if you will. And that's when everybody started backing up, and the officer fired one round, incapacitating the dog.
Yeah.
Now, the witnesses were present, and the officer apologized for having to shoot the dog, but felt he acted accordingly with what would keep the complainant himself safe, according to the APD. And after a few minutes, the dog's owners came outside to claim his dog. Officers told the dog owner that what had happened, and that animal control was on their way to assist the animal. Officers provided the homeowner with information of the closest animal hospital in the case, and in case they wanted to personally transport the dog for treatment. However, the dog's owner ultimately decided to put the dog down. And according to police, the officer's chain of command, they reviewed the incident and found that the officer acted within policy. Yeah. While it was very unfortunate the incident took place, the officer acted according to protect himself and others that were around in that area. Here's a quote. We want to share the facts of how this call came in and emphasize the APD officers never want to be in a situation where they have to hurt an animal. But in this case, that was that's what he had to do.
You know, it's further confirmation that you've got to, if you've got a dog, if whatever the deal is, you have got to keep that pet, that dog specifically. You got to keep him. You got to keep him constrained. You got to keep him safe. You got to keep him safe from other.
Sure.
It's got to be a situation that you keep under control, whatever that's going to be.
Well, there will be people that are pissed off about this.
Sure there will. But come on, it's an animal. It's still an animal that you cannot talk to them about why that they should not approach police in the way they're approaching police.
I don't know what kind of dog it is. And the story does not indicate what kind of animal it is, but it was an aggressive animal.
Yeah.
In the Austin Animal Shelter, they're still dealing with theft. They had 4 pit bulls that were stolen. It's pretty interesting. Something like that sounds like an inside job, doesn't it? It sounds like somebody on the inside at the animal shelter took 4 dogs.
It is a strange place to have something stolen. And it's a strange thought. Let's go to the animal shelter and steal dogs.
Well, that's where the dogs are,
First of all, you would think that there would be good security at those. You would think, certainly they're caught on camera.
Whenever I saw the story, the first thing I thought was, okay, it's an inside job. Somebody that's a volunteer wanted the pets for themselves, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody... Or the dogs belong to somebody and they didn't want to pay any money to get the dogs out, right?
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. Is it really theft? Is it really a crime taking something that
doesn't belong to you? Yes.
Well, it doesn't belong to the animal shelter.
Well, I don't know. Well, they're in the custody of the animal shelter. I mean, you can't steal pets from the animal shelter. You can't do that. That's illegal.
But that is a very good question. Are they the original owners?
No. I mean, the story indicates that they're kind of baffled by, but they are very confident, according to the story, that it was they were stolen.
Yeah,
and not just. And here's the other thing that's interesting to the story: they're not fixed. They weren't spayed or neutered, which is confusing to me. I mean, once the animal shelter acquires. A wild animal that has no ownership, and they bring it to the shelter.
Yeah,
right. I would think the very first thing you should do is spay and neuter. That's just my opinion.
Well, that is my opinion as well. But
why would you? Do they keep the dog hoping that somebody's going to adopt it and then they spay and neuter it?
Yeah, right. That the owners. You mean that the Humane Society or that they would do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I would just think that the animal shelter, when they bring a dog in, they find it randomly on the streets. That's the first thing you do is spay and neuter.
I would hope so, because that's the issue there.
Is that illegal to do that if the dog belongs to someone? I don't know.
Yeah.
6:52, but the dogs are out there somewhere.
So are they going to? How do they pursue this? Are they really I mean, part of the goal is to get these animals into someone's hands, right?
And they are, and they would be now, right?
And they did. So are they? How hard are they going to try to get these dogs back?
How hard can they? I mean, they're too busy coming up with money to take care of pets. I would assume it's not a high priority for the police.
It's
right?
At the same time, it's like, okay, there's 3 pets that they don't have to take care of now. There's
That's
3
true.
pets that they got off their hands.
Or it's 4 pets, four
pets,
pit bulls.
Okay.
Or we have four pit bulls that are actually been stolen, used in some kind of dog fighting operation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the extreme worst case scenario.
Right. It's an interesting scenario.
The best case scenario is it was an inside job and some volunteer took the animals for themselves. Still wrong and criminal, But maybe they are being taken care of.
They were taken, but at the same time, they did them a favor. They got them off their hands. They opened up some space.
Michael in Allendale. Good morning, Michael. Just got a couple of seconds here. What's up?
Hey, guys, you know what? Did you think about, you said they weren't neutered and spayed. Maybe they stole these animals to breed them and sell pups.
Yeah,
you know, into the fighting industry or into where everybody wants to buy a pit bull nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
maybe that's what they did with it. Just my humble opinion,
That's
guys.
true.
Have a good day.
You may be right about
we
that,
can
man.
sit here and think of all kinds of scenarios, but we don't know. We don't know.
It'll probably go unsolved. I mean, it's not a high priority.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if it does go unsolved, okay.
It is 6:54. And at this time on Fridays, we always go under the covers.
Yeah.
These are hard-to-reach exclusive interviews. Don Pryor's able to talk to people that even Judy Maggio cannot interview.
What?
She can't get this.
If she doesn't get it, how do I get it?
Well, because you're a pro, man. You got How many awards? You got the Peabody.
Got the Pulitzer.
Got the Pulitzer.
Did I tell you about the Pulitzer?
I did. I heard about that.
Okay, yeah.
I heard about that.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, AOC this week, and I wanted to talk to her about really concentration camp. Sitting here again this week with U.S. Representative for New York's 14th Congressional District, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We love her and know her as AOC. Thanks for being here, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I'm going to get right to it. What are you talking about, that illegal immigrants are being held in concentration camps down on the southern border? Where are you getting this?
I don't know your heart.
You don't know my heart?
No.
All righty. Have you seen one of these, what you call concentration camps yourself?
I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So have you even been down there?
I actually haven't tried looking for it. I think it's a little far.
Yeah, that would be inconvenient. So where did you get this idea that they're being held in concentration camps?
So I think this is a really important conversation for us to have.
Okay.
Because it's, they showed the actual arc on which the asteroid's expected and where it's plotted to go, where it has gone, and all of that. But that's like that is elicited. Like, I've bartended for that guy,
Wow.
do X, Y explicit thing.
What?
Some people did something. That is the jump. And when you look at the full context of the situation, and that's really what's going on.
The Todd and Don Show.
When you're ready to get that next home loan.